Looks like Made in America's store. I don't know what this is. Look at that light. So those are the Canadian Falls, and those are the New York Falls. Whoa. Whoa.
Hooker has been involved right from the very beginning, and we were prepared to go in and clean that dump up. That was taken out of our hands by the state when the state declared that health emergency and ordered the evacuation of pregnant women and children under 2. From there on in, the entire situation has been out from under our control. But Hooker was working cooperatively with the city and the school board at that time to clean up that site. Hooker is a responsible company. One of the things we're trying to do is to responsibly get out the facts.
Hey, what's up, Legion? My name is Sal, and this is another expedition log. In my last episode, we toured the abandoned Rainbow Center Mall, and we brought the story of the Love Canal Tragedy to light, which saw the deaths of many caused by corporate and environmental negligence by the Hooker Chemical Company, who later became the Occidental Chemical Company, or OxyChem for short. But around the same time the Rainbow Center Mall was built, Hooker had a fantastic new 9-story headquarters built downtown in Niagara Falls. Today, the first 2 floors are occupied by tourist gift shops and a food court, but the upper 7 floors are completely abandoned, and we're going to see every inch of it along with the creepy basement. As always, I hope all of you are well out there, having a good time all the time. And today, I'd like you all to come take a walk with me through the Oxy Tower, born as the Hooker Chemical Building, existing now as mostly an abandoned tourist trap. Make sure to stay after the credits too. There's a Canadian treat at the end. But first, a word from our sponsor, Maple Leaf Village. Enjoy.
Maple Leaf Village?
Great place.
I think it's super. We've been here a couple times before, and there's always something to do.
I think it's a marvelous, fun place, but more than that, it's got tremendous stores to shop in.
There's a lot of fun inside and out.
71 specialty shops. Can't go wrong here.
My grandchildren love Maple Leaf Village.
I really like Maple Leaf Village.
Hey, I'm coming back. The entertainment is fabulous.
Maple Leaf Village. It has everything.
At Maple Leaf Village, we've got it all.
Niagara Falls, Ontario.
You'll have a world.
Shed your coat and enjoy summer. Yes, it's summer at Maple Leaf Village. Have lots of fun and save money with summer sidewalk sales and thousands of items at low, low prices. Summer rides and games, summer food and exhibits, summer merchandise, all at sizzling hot prices. Don't be left out in the cold. Come today to Maple Leaf Village and enjoy summer in February. Maple Leaf Village, Niagara Falls, Canada. Come on, be sun-kissed.
Here we are in Niagara Falls, New York for the epic conclusion to my 2019 Buffalo Niagara tour. We'll be making our way over to the Oxy Tower in just a couple of minutes, but first we're going to head through the Seneca Niagara Casino just to see it real quick, and because I think casinos are awesome. This used to be the Niagara Falls Convention and Civic Center when it first opened in 1973. And you actually caught a glimpse of the former convention center in my last episode during the intro with some rad archival footage from the 80s. Make sure you go check out ExLog 106 and the abandoned Rainbow Center Mall. This casino opened on December 31, 2002, after the Seneca Nation of Indians purchased the building of the former Convention and Civic Center and spent over $80 million to convert it into the Seneca Niagara Casino. The building's got a massive open floor plan covering 147,000 square feet, with 99 gaming tables and 4,200 slot machines. An accompanying hotel would open 3 years later on December 30, 2005, which is attached to the back of the casino. But obviously we're not here to see a tour of a casino, so let's just get one last look at what used to be the convention center, and away we go.
What is it?
Right after we get through this crazy looking psychedelic hallway, we'll be back at the Rainbow Center, where we'll head into the Oxy Tower directly across the street.
It's just like the hallway that leads to the casino.
Through the 1970s, Niagara Falls was in the nation's crosshairs following the events of the Love Canal Tragedy. At the center of this disaster was the Hooker Chemical Company, who dumped toxic chemicals for decades on the land that would become the Love Canal neighborhood. Historic amounts of rainfall through the 70s would cause the chemicals to seep through groundwater, culminating in generations of birth defects, advanced and rare cancers, and mass casualties through the years. But between 1978 and 1979, the disaster was on every news station and publication, and the Niagara Falls tourist industry tanked.
So where it says parking, Ace was just telling me that that little window thing at top, that little arch connected, has a walkway right there into the mall. Very, very cool. You can see the electrical, where the electrical was? Yeah, you can see all the electrical work. This actually has mall elements to it. Looks like Made in America's store. I don't know what this is. Oh, let's go in the front door. On the front door.
In my last video, I came to the conclusion that the urban renewal plan for Niagara Falls was a direct response to the tourist industry collapse as a direct result from the Love Canal tragedy. Lots of locals with heated opinions blew up my comment section, which I respect. So let me partially relent. I no longer think that the 70s urban renewal plan here, including the Rainbow Center Mall, was a direct response to the Love Canal. That would imply a shadowy cabal of local government was in cahoots secretly for years with Hooker, who warned officials of their impending chemical disaster, urging them to design an urban renewal plan to distract from the upcoming negative publicity. That's pretty crazy, and I'm not into wearing tinfoil hats. What I do think is that Hooker took advantage of the ongoing urban renewal project for their own optics when in 1978, Hooker Chemical commissioned a new HQ to be built in downtown Niagara Falls. Surely, internal upper management at Hooker knew for years that the Love Canal disaster would blow up and go public, which, coincidentally, it did in 1978. So they sought to build an opulent new HQ to begin shifting the perception of their company in an effort to regain public favor. 2 years later, the very building we're in right now was constructed in April of 1980 as the Hooker Chemical Company HQ at a cost of $12.5 million.
What? You can like walk right into it. That's sketchy city, man. Yeah. No, I'm not saying that just comes around to here. That's weird, though. And I guess this one goes to the other side. They roped it off. Oh, yeah, that's very molly. Oh, yes. Wow. This just screams sketchy. Yeah. There goes the mall. Yeah, that was where the mall would be. Straight walk by the mall. So we're inside that thing that connected the walkway right now. And there's like bees' nests all over the place, so let's bail.
The Hooker building was conceptualized by New York City-based Canon Design, who regularly took inspiration from German-American architect Ludwig Mies van der Rohe for his overt use of glass and steel. They designed the structure using simple yet clean geometry, inspired by works out of the Bauhaus school, for which Mies van der Rohe served as its last director from 1930 until 1933, when the Nazi regime pressured the school to close. The light fixtures and stairwell you're seeing right now, they're both original to the building, and this used to be the Hooker Building lobby. Architecturally, the Hooker Building fluently speaks the Bauhaus design language, but fundamentally and operationally, Canon Design engineered the building to fully embrace the Bauhaus ideology that all art should be brought together. As such, they wanted harmony between art and function. So they designed the structure as North America's first building within a building, utilizing an outer glass facade with louvers that would facilitate a ventilation system, acting as a chimney in warm weather to dispel the heat through the roof, and as an insulation jacket in lower temperatures so that the building retained heat. Originally, the glass around the building was painted with a highly reflective finish, but commuters were constantly blinded from the sun's reflection, so they repainted the glass with a green tint. At the time, the structure was considered to be the most energy-efficient building in the world.
Oh my god, it's over the mall. Go to 8. That sucks. Oh, you would just have to look up there. I'm not hoofing all the way up there. We're spelunking right now. I love it. It's so much fun. Oh, how convenient. There's just people in here. Oh, there's more store over there. This looks like renovations. We should just go back in here. Hey, let's just walk back into the store from here. You want to eat?
At this point, Ace and I are going to start our ascent to the 9th floor. And as we explore these long abandoned office spaces, keep your eyes peeled for some seriously vintage gear. The last tenant on the 3rd and 4th floors left just before the early 2000s. However, as we move up past the 5th floor, you're going to see some old school computer parts and some signs of the former chemical company, including references to the word like Occidental and a sign warning about Halon 1301. We kind of flipped out when we saw that Halon sign, and we also saw people sitting in chairs with binoculars watching the parking lot, so we didn't spend a lot of time on each floor. But in hindsight, the Halon was just used to extinguish fires, and the person with the binoculars was more interested in getting people towed and ticketed from the parking lot than what we were doing. But I digress. While this place opened as the Hooker Building commissioned by the Hooker Chemical Company, they were actually bought out by Occidental Petroleum in 1968. But 3 years after the building opened, in 1983, the Hooker Chemical subsidiary was folded into Occidental Chemical, or Oxychem for short, and the building had new 35-year leases drawn up. According to multiple locals that I spoke to when I filmed here, this place is known as the Oxy Tower. And most of the stuff that you've seen so far is overflow storage for the food court downstairs, but it gets much more interesting as we go higher. This building was a total enigma to me, and since I visited, I've been trying to justify why it exists here. On paper and in boardrooms, the idea to build a fancy new tower is a great way to advance the image of a company, even if just at the corporate level. But Oxychem, in the midst of what was known as the worst environmental tragedy to date, despite their gauche new monument to themselves in downtown Niagara Falls, they couldn't escape the stigma brought upon by their own actions. The month that the building opened, New York State filed a $635 million lawsuit against Occidental Petroleum and its subsidiary Hooker Chemical, officially claiming that they were responsible for the Love Canal disaster. By July 14, 1982, the EPA released a report that suggested remediation efforts on the Love Canal land, including ways to move forward with rebuilding and rehabilitating the neighborhood. Through 1983, the EPA report was widely criticized for critical flaws in its justification on the immediate rehabilitation of the Love Canal area. The EPA then admitted that their report was flawed and suggested that the area needed another few years until the homes could be lived in again. Looking around this old office space, you can almost see the madness while Oxychem was fighting off all of these public battles and lawsuits, and it was almost as if they just up and left in a panic, ditching all of their old equipment, knowing that they'd just never use it again. It's sad seeing how quickly this office must have been abandoned, until you remember that these officers were directly responsible for the atrocities committed at the Love Canal and the incredibly mishandled aftermath for the affected families. By December 8 of '83, the U.S. Department of Justice sued OxyChem to recover $45 million in federal money that was used to clean up the Love Canal and relocate its residents. They also sought to hold OxyChem liable for all future expenses related to any toxic waste that migrated from the Love Canal to nearby areas. Then on March 2, 1984, it was uncovered that Occidental Chemical settled out of court with 1,336 Love Canal residents for just $20 million. I'm not sure how that money was actually broken down per individual, but just as a thought experiment, let's call it a $20 million pool to pay 1,336 people equally. That comes out to just under $15,000 per person. These people had multiple generations of incredibly sick family members, and the hospital bills must have been astronomical. That $15,000 probably just barely paid for a month of care. It was ultimately revealed that the residents originally sought $15 billion in damages, which would have worked out to about $11 million per person. Those poor families got screwed by Occidental, and there's no building in the world by any architect that can shake a scandalous disaster away like the Love Canal. I'm sure you can all tell how drastically different the 9th floor looks from the others we just explored. But from what I could tell, this floor was being used as an observation deck for tourists, and they had the elevators shut down for the top 7 floors, and it looked like they were working on something up there. But we also saw someone with a radio and had to get back downstairs quickly, so I couldn't grab any footage of the Niagara River or falls. But if you stick with me through the next few minutes, we'll get a money shot of the falls from the New York side, and if you stay after the credits, you'll see the falls top to bottom from the Canadian side that I filmed back in 2014. But let's talk through the rest of this building's historical narrative as we make our way down into the super creepy basement. By 1996, Occidental was looking to sell the building as they were shifting operations away from downtown Niagara Falls, seemingly running away with their tail between their legs. At this time, the only other occupant in the tower was the U.S. Small Business Agency Disaster Relief Group, with a lease for the 3rd and 4th floors that expired in early 1999. When they left, the Occidental Chemical Corp sold the tower to Frank Parlato Jr. for $6 million in a mostly cash transaction in July of 1999. Mr. Parlato immediately announced plans to convert the location into an aquarium called Aqua Falls in a massive project that was scheduled to cost over $35 million.
What? Why? Whoa! We need light? Oh, no. I'm retarded. I didn't bring my... Oh, I did bring it. Yes. Dude, wait. Hold on. Let me get my flashlight.
Shortly after the deal was completed, Parlato broke ground on the project, with dignitaries at the event such as Governor George Pataki.
What even is going on right now?
For this groundbreaking, they just kept digging for a month.
Here, let me get with you here.
And they were left with a hole next to the tower of Brobdingnagian proportions.
Just maintenance.
Just saying it was huge is an understatement. This thing was massive. It was a crater. The Aquarium Project actually sounded pretty cool on paper. It was described as an oceanographic experience where spectators would be permitted to view the sea from a beach on the 1st floor down to the sea bottom, 45 feet underground with a series of glass tunnels under the sea. But the unsightly pit would sit there for years with no further development.
I think it's just the employee section.
Locals hated it and made their complaints wildly vocal. Parlato heard the complaints and formally canceled the Aquarium Project, finally filling in the hole in the early 2000s. He used the opportunity to make a parking lot for the building, which would account for most of the income he raked in at this property. In the spring of 2006, Mr. Parlato started bringing in local businesses to occupy the first 2 floors at the former Oxy Tower, which he had then renamed to One Niagara. He started posting giant, ugly signs on the outside to advertise the tenants within, and for the new parking lot on site. The Niagara Falls Planning Board came through to inspect the building and found countless code violations, and threatened to condemn the property unless Mr. Parlato brought it up to code. He made the bare minimum necessary repairs, at which point the planning board gave Mr. Parlato consent to use the first and second floors of the tower as a tourist destination with food, souvenirs, and tour vendors, as he had been doing since that prior spring. The Oxy Tower turned One Niagara hadn't changed at all from the time that Mr. Parlato started bringing in tenants until the time that I filmed it. And the latest developments for this place show that the Made in America store held a grand reopening celebration on Wednesday, May 4, 2022, after undergoing an expansion and renovations. If any of you that are local to this area are up to it, I'd love to see what the tower looks like inside these days. So stop by and hit me up on any of my social media or down in my comment section and let me know how it's doing. You want to take this up to 1? That was fucking awesome. Yeah. Or 2? What are we doing?
Wow. That is not in good shape.
That's not in good shape.
Dude, that's super soft. That was fun.
That was fun. Always an adventure. Just as a quick aside, for the last 7 months, I've been working on this entire Buffalo Niagara 2019 arc, and Anthony from Ace's Adventures has been a huge asset in helping me to get this episode produced. So please, do me a favor, go subscribe to Ace's Adventures, and also check out his documentary on the Love Canal. It's fantastic, and he produces amazing content. So please go give Ace a sub while you're here.
Doesn't say you can. Doesn't say we can't go in there. Beyond sketchy though. No, Statue of Liberty.
Obviously, the entire area of New York's Niagara Falls is just one giant tourist trap. And I'm certain that every city planning and developmental decision is made based on tourism metrics. Across the river, though, the immediate downtown Toronto area is no different, and it's got mostly American food establishments on that main strip, which you'll see if you stick around after the credits. But on either side of the river, I don't know how things went during and just after the COVID lockdown, but given that the main attraction for the area is often cited as the honorary 8th wonder of the world, people will still flock to this area regardless of whatever cheap gift shops open or close. With that said, it's worth mentioning that scientists speculate that the American Falls won't dry up for another 2,000 years or so, and that the Canadian Horseshoe Falls have about 15,000 years left before erosion turns them into a river with a series of rapids. Tourists, I would say that you, and probably the next 80 generations, have plenty of time to see the falls. But in case you can't make it, you can take a walk with me over there. So let's go check out the American Falls.
Oh, look, it shows you how to...
Wow.
Just to think someday it's not going to be there.
What's the science behind that?
Oh, I mean, that's probably hundreds and hundreds of years away, but I mean, it's getting smaller and smaller.
Is it really?
Yeah, yep. Hey, squirrel. Just brought some nuts. So I'm here at Niagara Falls, and we're kicking off the, I don't even know what to call it now, the Niagara Falls Buffalo Route 80 spectacular dead mall creepy building tour of 2019. Say hi to Ace, everyone. Hi. I don't know when this footage is going to air, but 2022. It might be. I don't know, but I want to thank you guys for what? How many subs? Let's say 40,000. We're gonna go with 40,000 subs is when this will air. But I just want to welcome you guys to this tour. There's a lot of really cool stuff up ahead. But here we are again at Niagara Falls. Check this out.
The format of this episode is what I always imagined for the ExLog.
Pretty cool, huh? Little groundhog just chilling.
Mixing some form of urban exploration with seeing incredible parts of the world and telling the history is exactly what I've always wanted to do. But along the way, I definitely became obsessed with vintage retail and preserving the memory of dead malls. So I appreciate you all indulging me in exploring Niagara Falls and the Buffalo region over the last several months. This tour was so much fun to film and produce, and if you liked this, let me know down in the comments if you want more of this kind of content. Once again, I'd like to thank all of you for watching this video. I know that most of you are here because of my Dead Mall videos, but if you happen to be here for the first time, or you're not subscribed yet, you may as well just sub and hit the notifications button, because I have so much more content coming down the line that you don't want to miss. Thanks especially to my patrons and elite explorers. Every penny that you donate and pledge goes to creating these videos, and I'm incredibly grateful for your direct support, so thanks again. Make sure you're following me on all of my social media platforms. I post mostly to Twitter, but I'm also on Instagram and Facebook if that's your thing. If you want to chat with me in real time, you can also join my Discord server, which is home of DMod and several other awesome content creators. Links for everything are down below in the description for each of my videos. You could also head over to salvatoreamadeo.com and click the links in the top left if that's easier for you. That's also where I publish the ExBlog and the community forums for the Quite Studios Legion of Explorers.
So those are the Canadian falls, and those are the New York falls.
I'll be back soon with ExLog 107, which covers an abandoned mall, and it's packed with incredible footage that you don't want to miss. As a matter of fact, I think we'll be seeing pretty much only dead mall content for the foreseeable future on my channel. So if you're into dead malls like I am, get stoked. But in the meantime, please stay safe out there, everyone. Take care of yourselves, and have a fantastic day.
Maple Leaf Village?
Great place.
I think it's super. We've been here a couple times before, and there's always something to do.
I think it's a marvelous, fun place, but more than that, it's got tremendous stores to shop in.
There's a lot of fun inside and out.
71 specialty shops. Can't go wrong here.
My grandchildren love Maple Leaf Village.
I really like Maple Leaf Village.
Hey, I'm coming back. The entertainment is fabulous.
Low prices. Summer rides and games, summer food and exhibits, summer merchandise, all at sizzling hot prices. Don't be left out in the cold. Come today to Maple Leaf Village and enjoy summer in February. Maple Leaf Village, Niagara Falls, Canada. Come on, be sun-kissed.
Hey Legion, you all still there? Check this out. That can't be right. I didn't think it was right. Oh, don't do this to me, come on.
He's gonna hit something. He's gonna eat shit.
Thank you.
That was kind of scary.
He's a hard ass, man.
Right turn at the end of the road. Then, in 1/10 of a mile, right turn at the end of the road.
Tell me where to go. All right, so first of all, it's windy as fuck. American food everywhere. We got brick oven pizza, Romano's Macaroni Grill. It's New York. This is DC right here. There's Subway, Eat Fresh, there's Ruth's Chris, IHOP, Applebee's. And it's a shitty hotel, look at this! And now there's nothing like to look at. Now like it's just like they built that one block for stupid American tourists that were like, I'm going to Canada. Not only that, but if you look next door to my cousin Vinny's, all you can eat breakfast buffet. God, there's so many birds over there. Holy shit. It's like right there. Oh my god, you get like the weirdest vertigo.
Thank you. Oh, right there. Average flow is 154 million liter per minute, and that's your summer flow. Winter is less. Upper deck is a viewing area and 2 portholes in the back. There you go. Straight ahead, please, and watch your step. Have a good time.
Whoa. See the door shaking because of the pressure of the falls? Sorry. Jesus. That's wacky. Like, there's nothing holding that up. This is all leaky and shit. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Take care.